Madonna of Humility in the Art of the Plague, 2020. At the beginning of 2020, it looked as though we might be in for a bumpy ride, but I decided to take a wait-and-see attitude. So, as my usual, I was combing through my news feeds one day and came across an article entitled, "Bubonic Plague in Europe Changed Art History, Why Coronavirus Could Do the Same." Thus began my Madonna project that would sweep me back in time many centuries to try and understand how previous generations of artists felt about their own times and how they might have responded to a mysterious threat and even death. Around 1345 to 1350, the artist Guariento di Arpo created one last icon painting of Mother Mary during what is called the Black Plague, and he must have felt an extra sense of urgency toward the cause of Christian redemption. As it turns out, Arpo's little work of Madonna of Humility would mark the end of a steady flowering of artistic revolution, and it would take leading artists generations before meaningful works were ever to begin up again. My story is about our own times and the questions surrounding a new plague and threat of death, and at the top of my mind was the question, what will tomorrow look like and what can I do now? We have all been told to shelter in place, and we were all told that we have to change how we live so as not to die. My mission became clearer then, and I had no reason not to try and replicate what Arpo had done. I would be as Arpo. I would create a Madonna painting, and I think I had the perfect model too. Her name is Denise Darlene Anderson, a 40-year-old homeless woman that my wife and I were helping here in our neighborhood in beautiful California in a small town called Brentwood. She's a neighborhood landmark. Everybody knows lady walking down the middle of the street where the cars are supposed to drive. Here in the land of milk and honey, especially it works out for the rich, but increasingly a number of Californians like Denise, whose life just doesn't work at all, well, they get pushed down and some of them turn out like her. So she would be my model for this new Madonna work. My background is pretty extensive now since I'm in my 60s, but I had been a commissioned artist all through the 80s, 1980s, and had extensive experience as an art restorer while working for a period of 10 years for a huge collection here in the Bay Area on John Arriaga's collection of Benny Buffano pieces. On one of Buffano's monumental pieces, a 14-foot stainless steel St. Francis, I had spent 14 months restoring it to beyond its former glory. I restored and cataloged a large number of Buffano's own versions of Madonna. It was imagery that he worked on since his childhood in the early 1900s until his death in around 1970. So for my own little Madonna project, I would keep working away at it, and it would keep me busy here at home while the virus was all around, and not knowing what the day would bring, if my wife or myself or some of my friends would get sick. That was going to happen or not, but I started going through my shed and finding some materials that I could use, and I rifled through one of my sheds and found a nice big slab of thick, dense foam for the core of the piece, and I went on Amazon and I ordered a foam cutting knife and got a book of gold gilding from Amazon also, and went to work. Next, I turned my attention to Denise, my model.
Good to see you again. Yeah, good to see you too.
So I looked through my photographs of her, did some studies of her, and went into the studio all ready to work. For the most part, I used the grid method and a combination of freehand drawings. Some things were run through the computer like Photoshop to check out some detailing and other things, but I followed along in Arpo's footsteps on my Madonna painting very carefully. Now my version would be much larger than his, but dimensionally true to his, and after about 4 months, countless hours, working around the house on this piece, outside to do the varnishes, in the studio to do the drawings, etc. I had finally recreated my Madonna version of Arpo's iconic work of Mother Mary. Here we were, two artists sharing iconic imagery some 6.5 centuries apart. Both works showed Mother Mary nursing the baby Jesus while sitting on the ground. And up above, Jesus the Savior float radiantly above in a heavenly sunburst. And I hope you like the results.